In the dimly lit chambers of a medieval monastery nestled atop a mist-shrouded hill, Brother Matthias stumbled upon an ancient manuscript. Its pages, brittle with age, told a tale of forbidden alchemical knowledge and a disgraced alchemist named Malachi. As Matthias deciphered the cryptic text, he unwittingly unleashed a malevolent force that would echo through the corridors of time. Word spread of the cursed manuscript, attracting scholars and seekers of forbidden knowledge. Among them was Lady Eleanor, a determined noblewoman with a thirst for the arcane. Ignoring the warnings of the monastery's residents, she acquired the manuscript and embarked on a quest to unlock its secrets. As Lady Eleanor delved into the pages, the air grew heavy with an otherworldly presence. Shadows danced upon the walls, and whispers of long-forgotten sins echoed in the chambers. Nightmares plagued her sleep, and visions of a hooded figure tormented her waking hours. Lady Eleanor pressed on, driven by a desire for power that blinded her to the growing darkness. Across the centuries, the manuscript changed hands, leaving a trail of despair in its wake. In the 17th century, a group of scholars in a secluded English manor believed they could harness the manuscript's secrets for the betterment of society. Little did they know that the cursed text had a malevolent will of its own. One by one, the scholars succumbed to the insidious influence of the manuscript. Whispers of regret and shadows of the past manifested around them, consuming their sanity. The once grand manor became a haunted labyrinth of sorrow, and the manuscript's curse tightened its grip on those who sought to decipher its enigmatic verses. In the 19th century, a brilliant detective named Victor Cromwell took on the case of the cursed manuscript. Drawn by reports of inexplicable tragedies surrounding its possession, Cromwell embarked on a journey to unravel the dark tapestry woven by Malachi's forbidden knowledge. The detective's investigation led him to Lady Eleanor's descendants, who still clung to the cursed manuscript. As Cromwell pored over its pages, he felt the weight of centuries pressing upon him. Visions of Lady Eleanor's torment and the scholar's descent into madness haunted his every step. Driven by an unwavering resolve, Cromwell discovered that the key to breaking the curse lay in confronting the spirit of the disgraced alchemist, Malachi. The detective sought out the ancient ruins of Malachi's laboratory, hidden deep within the woods, where the malevolent force had first been unleashed. As Cromwell approached the decaying remnants of the laboratory, the air crackled with an unholy energy. The ghostly figure of Malachi materialized, wreathed in ethereal flames. His eyes bore centuries of regret, and his voice carried the lamentations of a soul condemned. Cromwell, undeterred, presented the cursed manuscript before Malachi. The alchemist's spectral form quivered, torn between anguish and relief. In a guttural voice, he confessed the sins that bound him to the cursed text and revealed the incantation needed to break the curse. With a final mournful wail, Malachi dissipated into the ancient air, and the manuscript's malevolence lifted. The haunted manor, now devoid of supernatural echoes, stood silent as the curse's grip loosened. Victor Cromwell, having witnessed the resolution of centuries-old suffering, returned the manuscript to the monastery. As he closed its ancient cover, he couldn't shake the feeling that the lament of the cursed manuscript would forever linger in the annals of history, a cautionary tale of forbidden knowledge and the souls ensnared by its power. In the somber canals of 17th century Venice, a city gripped by the relentless grip of the bubonic plague, the air hung heavy with despair. The once vibrant streets were now deserted, and the sounds of grief echoed through the city's decaying architecture. Amidst this bleakness, a mysterious figure emerged. The plague doctor, donned in a black cloak and a grotesque bird-like mask, an enigmatic savior offering a glimmer of hope to the desperate populace. Rumors of the plague doctor's healing abilities spread like wildfire. The afflicted, with no other recourse, sought solace in his masked presence. However, as the plague raged on, the plague doctor's true intentions were unveiled. In the heart of Venice, a grand masquerade ball was announced, promising an escape from the city's grim reality. The decadent ballroom, adorned with flickering candlelight and draped in rich velvets, became the stage for a sinister masquerade. The plague doctor, orchestrating this macabre dance, invited the desperate and the dying to partake in a night of fleeting revelry. The guests, adorned in elegant masks, moved in rhythm to a haunting melody, unaware that they were pawns in a dark ritual that bound their fates to the very essence of the plague. Among the attendees was Isabella, a young woman grappling with the loss of her family to the merciless epidemic. Drawn to the allure of the masquerade, she donned a mask and entered the ballroom, where the air hummed with an unnatural energy. As the night unfolded, the plague doctor moved through the crowd, his chilling gaze fixed on Isabella. The masks worn by the revelers concealed not only their identities, but also their destinies. As the clock struck midnight, the atmosphere shifted. The haunting melody intensified, and the revelers found themselves trapped in a spectral dance, their movements dictated by an unseen force. Shadows of the plague twisted and contorted, manifesting as ghostly apparitions that mirrored the guests' despair. Isabella, caught in the spectral waltz, glimpsed the plague doctor in the center of the ballroom, channeling the collective suffering into an ethereal maelstrom. The masked figure's true form emerged, a conduit for the malevolent force that fueled the plague itself. Desperation filled Isabella's heart as she realized the true nature of the masquerade. Determined to break free from the spectral dance, Isabella sought allies among the trapped souls. Together, they unraveled the mysteries of the ritual and uncovered a forgotten incantation that could sever the connection between the plague doctor and the plague's essence. As Isabella and her newfound companions recited the ancient words, the grand ballroom quivered. The plague doctor's malevolent energy recoiled, and the apparitions wailed in agony. Shadows dissipated, and the masks that bound the revelers to the plague shattered, revealing the faces of those who had fought against despair. The plague doctor, now weakened and vulnerable, faced the combined strength of those who had suffered under his sinister masquerade. In a burst of blinding light, the malevolent force was expelled, leaving the grand ballroom in eerie silence. Venice, though scarred by the plague, began its slow journey toward recovery. The city's streets once again echoed with life, and the memory of the plague doctor's masquerade became a cautionary tale passed down through generations. Isabella, forever changed by the ordeal, vowed to ensure that the horrors of that night would not be forgotten. As she gazed at the retreating shadows of the plague doctor, she understood that some mysteries were best left buried, and the true essence of life could only be appreciated in the light of hope and resilience. In the heart of Victorian England, nestled amidst rolling hills and ancient oaks, stood Dunham Manor, an imposing estate with a history shrouded in darkness. The stone walls of the manor whispered secrets, tales of a family marked by tragedy and a curse that lingered like a haunting melody. The estate passed through generations, each inheritor burdened with the sins of their forebears. As the moon cast an eerie glow over the sprawling grounds, a new family took residence within Dunham Manor's hallowed halls. The Allertons, drawn by the allure of history, brushed aside the warnings of locals who spoke in hushed tones of the mansion's malevolent reputation. Charles Allerton, a scholarly patriarch, sought to uncover the mysteries concealed within the mansion's time-worn tapestries and creaking floorboards. His wife, Victoria, a woman of grace and curiosity, reveled in the grandeur of their new home. Their two children, Elizabeth and William, were enchanted by the promise of adventure within the vast estate. From the first night, however, the whispering halls of Dunham Manor lived up to their ominous reputation. Strange murmurs echoed through the corridors, and unseen hands seemed to brush against the skin. Elizabeth claimed to hear the soft sobbing of a woman, while William insisted that shadows moved with a life of their own. As Charles delved into the manor's history, he uncovered tales of a forbidden love affair that had led to a gruesome family tragedy. A young woman, Eleanor, had fallen in love with a stable hand, resulting in scandal and heartbreak. Eleanor's cries of despair were said to linger within the very walls that bore witness to her tragic fate. The Allertons soon realized that the spirits of Dunham Manor were not confined to mere whispers. Apparitions materialized, clad in Victorian attire, and the air carried an oppressive weight. The family found themselves entangled in a spectral dance, a manifestation of the unresolved anguish that permeated the manor. Driven by a sense of responsibility and the desire to free the tormented spirits, the Allertons sought the guidance of local mediums and occultists. Seances were conducted in dimly lit parlors, and the veil between the living and the dead seemed to thin. Eleanor's ethereal figure materialized, her eyes reflecting centuries of sorrow. The key to unraveling the curse, the mediums revealed, lay in confronting the buried truths of Dunham Manor's past. A secret room concealed behind a bricked-up wall held the answers to the family's haunting. As the Allertons painstakingly uncovered the hidden chamber, the atmosphere within the manor intensified, and the spirits grew more restless. Within the secret room, they discovered a collection of love letters, forbidden trysts, and a pact that had sealed the fate of generations. Eleanor's love affair had been forbidden by her family, leading to her tragic end. The curse, born of heartbreak and betrayal, bound the spirits to the mansion, perpetuating a cycle of torment. Guided by the ghostly apparition of Eleanor, the Allertons embarked on a journey to break the curse. They sought to reconcile the pain of the past, offering forgiveness and understanding to the tormented spirits. The family's determination became a beacon of hope in the shadowy halls, and the oppressive atmosphere began to lift. In a climactic moment, as the clock struck midnight, the curse that had gripped Dunham Manor for centuries was broken. The spirits, freed from their ethereal chains, ascended into the afterlife, leaving behind a mansion bathed in a serene light. As dawn broke over the horizon, the whispering halls fell silent. The Allertons, weary but triumphant, stood in the manor's grand foyer, where the air was now charged with a newfound tranquility. Dunham Manor, once a place of sorrow and regret, had been redeemed by the courage and compassion of those who dared to confront the shadows of the past.